I'm in, as I always say, get your phones ready, get your pens, pencils, whatever you're going to be writing with today, get your notepads ready. It's going to be another good one. We're just going to get set up on all the platforms and give everyone a minute to join. All right, Facebook is live, Instagram is live. Just going to have to scoot into reach to get the TikTok going. All right, that's all good. Perfect. All right, everyone. We're live everywhere now. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Instagram, live on in, TikTok. I know what I didn't say. Back for another live session. It's going to be a good one, as always. I always say it because they're always good. Looking forward to lots of interaction today. Looking forward to hearing what you guys are dealing with. Today, we are going to be talking about, well, actually, we're going to open it up. It's going to be a looser format today. We're going to try and make it fun and interactive, some giveaways, some prizes. But really, I'm conscious that you guys are sending questions every session, every time you do a live. There's so many questions that come in. And usually, I'm focusing on a topic, so I don't necessarily get the chance to answer all of the questions, or I'll be talking about gut health, for example, and all the questions are directed about something else. So um, yeah, I want to dedicate this session today to really focus on answering you guys' questions. I want to try and get, I was thinking what a reasonable number is. Let's try and aim for 40 questions answered in this live session. So we're going to be going through them. I'm going to try and give you guys good, more in-depth answers, because I think the biggest problem in terms of social media is, we and I include myself in this. We're trying to get the information out, but we're limited to 45 seconds, or we're limited to 60 seconds to be able to explain what are quite complicated concepts, in terms of the digestive process, or cleansing the liver, or detoxing whole body systems. And it gets very complex. And so in this session, I really want to take the time to answer your questions in more detail, give you the full answer, give you the chance to go back and forth to make sure you really understand. Yatunde or Yatundem, not sure where the name ends and starts, but listened earlier to the kidney talk. Great info. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're always trying to, deliver information in a way that makes sense, but most important, in a way that's actionable. So hopefully you got that from that kidney session, and that's really what we aim to do in every session. I can see some questions coming in already, which is great. So yeah, if you've got questions on Instagram, TikTok, or f- YouTube or Facebook, then feel free to comment and I will answer them. Um,
Just a quick one. The first comment I came in and said, what's going on with the ordered? I think they mean orders. I imagine they probably haven't got the orders. Do you want to explain how we've been affected and that
oh, okay.
stock's coming today?
Yeah, sure. And also, I can't see the tobacco myself. I can't see the TikTok chat shade. So if you could,
I'm on
uh,
TikTok. Yeah.
cool.
There's nothing at the moment.
All right. So yeah, um, I will. Yeah, I'll start there. Then we'll go into housekeeping, and then we'll get into it. All right. So for anyone who is waiting on an order, probably the last week, maybe a bit longer. Apologies, we have been affected by the war in the Middle East in terms of getting new products and shipping routes and because we get stock from all over the world. Everything from the eastern, yep, never each every, everything from the eastern side is being affected in terms of shipping delays. So we are going to be back in stock today. Everything is being delivered today. So we'll be able to get orders that have been placed that are currently on back orders out. Hopefully later today, depending what time delivery comes, but definitely tomorrow. Um, so yes, apologies to everyone who's been affected by the delays beyond our control, but we are looking for things we can do to stop that from happening in future. And there's always, because we get all our herbs from this land of origin, there's always something going on. If it's not, a war or political conflict or tariffs or embargoes that we're being affected by. So we're constantly evolving and trying to figure out longer term solutions to work around these things. But it's not an excuse. So um, apologies for anyone affected by that. In terms of what's been going on this week, it's been, I think I said this on the Friday call, and it was again a busy weekend and busy yesterday. So literally all the time has been spent on doing autism consultations or consultations for autistic children, which has been hugely insightful, hugely rewarding, and we've seen a lot of interesting things come out of that. But more of that to come in future sessions. I'm also conscious that we've. Oh, sorry. I should just say as well. I know I promised you a joint kit that will be coming. The joint kit will be coming this week. We've mapped it out now. We've got the kits ready to go. We just need to update the website. So that will be a sciatica, osteoarthritis, and rheumatoid arthritis kit. So really comprehensively covering joint health. So I'm looking forward to getting that one out because we get questions every day about arthritis and arthritic pain. So yes, that will be coming, and also an acne and eczema kit will be coming. So for a skin issues kit, you could call it. And then we will also be launching a fibromyalgia kit because we get questions, if not every day, every other day, on fibromyalgia. And what did we talk about earlier, Jade? I love putting Jade on the spot. Um,
Eczema.
said that one, eczema, UTI. We'll also be doing a UTI kit to kind of accompany the kidney cleanse kit as well. So look out for those in the pipeline over the next couple of weeks. That we'll be looking to get those launched. On that topic, I've got all the herbs in front of me now, and there are so many herbs that we now sell that we haven't even advertised properly individually. They're not even all listed on the website individually yet. They've just been brought in to add to kits. But I want to use today's session as well as I'm answering the questions to really talk through some of the herbs, especially the newer herbs that we haven't had as much chance to go through yet. But yeah, it's crazy because I remember probably even this time, maybe even last year, definitely the year before, we only had six herbs. And we were trying to do everything with six herbs, pointing people in lots of different directions and couldn't really trust the source of where I was pointing people. But now when I look in front of me, there's 15? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, about 15 herbs. And I think we haven't even, there might even be one or, yeah, the baton oil's not here. So there might even be one or two missing in front of me as well. So, yeah, it's kind of a nice, what's the word?
Growth.
Growth. Like,
Expansion.
yeah, it's a nice,
The mandatory
full
family.
circle
Royal
moment maybe,
family.
yeah, full circle moment where you can really see the growth in that, and how much research and how much effort has gone into sourcing these herbs in the last particularly in the last 12 months, because we're probably onboarded probably a herb every other month, which is a big undertaking in and amongst everything else. But anyway, enough patting ourselves on the back. We've got Jade here today. So Jade will be helping as always. She will be on Instagram as Josiah underscore Matty. She will be on TikTok as Magic Tree Superfoods. She will be on Facebook as well, monitoring the comments. So thank you, Sonia, for your questions. And she'll also be on YouTube as well. For everyone on YouTube, you
Oh,
can
come
get it right for the first time.
on.
It happens once a month. So cool. I think that is everything from a housekeeping point. I've set the stall out of what we're going to be doing today. So guys, I'll say it now. The more questions we answer, the more giveaways we'll do. So the more questions we answer, the more giveaways we'll do. So get your questions in. If you feel like I haven't answered it fully, tell me. If you're still confused, tell me. This is your chance. I'm here for however long we'll be here for, an hour, hour and a half. I'm not sure how long it will be, but I'm here to answer your questions. So be sure to get them in. Don't be shy. Don't be bashful. Um, no judgment here. All right. Jade is gonna have to help me on TikTok because I cannot see that
There's
chat.
not really anything on TikTok, so Instagram's the main bit. So do you want me to go through
Perfect.
and read?
I've stopped it, paused me at the top, so I can just go through from the top. And there's a couple on Facebook I'll get to after as well. So guys, what I'll say is I'll struggle to keep count, but I think we'll try and do a discount for every. We'll start with 10. Every 10 questions we answer,
Yeah.
we'll give away something. Whether that's a discount, consultation, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I'll keep count.
Jade will keep count. All right, question one. Is it true that raspberry loose leaf is not good for
Who
fibroids?
told you that?
And as you know, yeah, as I said, we do have it here. I lied.
Yeah, I already.
Um, it is not true. That's a nice, easy one. It is not true. And let me tell you why. What the raspberry leaf does is reduce menstrual cramping. So, big issue with fibroids, painful periods, painful cramping. The raspberry leaf helps with that. The raspberry leaf is also rich in iron. What's another big issue with fibroids? Bleeding too heavily, losing too much blood, anemia as a result of that. The raspberry leaf helps to offset that. Then we can talk about the role of hormones. We all know hormones cause fibroids. That's what they say. Half true. Exogenous hormones cause fibroids. What does the raspberry leaf do? It cleanses those exogenous hormones outside of your uterus. So, does the raspberry leaf make oh, just paused on Instagram due to some connectivity issues. Raining. It looks like we're back. So yeah, does the raspberry leaf cause make fibroids worse or cause issues? Definitely not. It's fantastic for the fibroids. It's not a fibroid shrinker. It's not going to break down the fibroid. It hasn't got anti-fibrotic qualities, but what it does do is or should I say, when you combine it with decaffeinated green tea, when you combine it with turmeric, when you combine it with broccoli sprouts, that all helps to break down the blood vessels that supply the fibroids. It helps to reverse the fibrosis, to break down the fibroids. But when it comes to the underlying conditions, in terms of the iron, that well, no, that's not even underlying, that's downstream. But when it comes to the exogenous hormones that are fueling the pathogens that grow the fibroids in the first place, then the raspberry leaf is your best friend. So I'm not sure exactly what is on TikTok Shop. Jade will be posting them.
Raspberry leaf pin.
Raspberry leaf is pinned. Thank you. So yes, that's the first question. So perfect.
I guess we'll do one from Instagram or from TikTok.
Um,
Before they come in.
I'll scroll down to the bottom of Instagram and then we'll just pick it up that way. Or
I'm here at the top, so I can read you the questions.
oh, okay, go on.
Is there any testing for HHV7?
All right. So with all herpetic viruses, the answer is well, it's a bit of a mix actually. I mean, with something like and I know you didn't ask about all the other ones, but we'll go through them just to answer the question fully and for everyone else's benefit. If we're talking HSV, we'll go through all the herpetic viruses just to clarify. If we're talking HSV1, HSV2, then typically you can get a blood test, which will test for antibodies. So that doesn't tell you the presence of the actual virus. Or you can get a swab test on an activation site where you will be able to confirm the virus. There isn't a blood test to actually tell you whether you have the virus directly because HSV doesn't live in blood, it lives in your nerves. Then you can look at EBV. Now, EBV lives in your bone marrow, it lives in your white blood cells, or it can molecular mimic and live in your liver, thyroid, nerves, wherever it wants to be. Again, there's no blood test that is going to identify the virus itself. There are blood tests that will identify antibodies of the virus. So when you hear oh you're tested positive for EBV or HSV on a blood test, what you're testing positive for is the antibodies. Now, if you had EBV or HSV, then killed the virus yourself, your immune system killed the virus, and then it creates antibodies to make sure it doesn't come back again or to keep a lookout for it coming back again, then you will have those antibodies. That doesn't mean you necessarily have the virus in your system. It just means you have the lookout to look out for reinfection. So I hope that that kind of answers those two viruses. Then we look at shingles or chickenpox. When it comes to shingles and chickenpox, then we're looking at you can see it, right? You'll have the rash. If you don't ever have the rash, the chickenpox rash, you're not ever really going to be testing for chickenpox. It kind of becomes irrelevant. When you get over chickenpox, the virus still lives in your system. So technically, you would still test positive for the chickenpox. So it doesn't, if you don't have the symptoms, then it becomes irrelevant, still testing positive. So now we're starting to break down testing positive versus symptomatic and the relevant difference between the two. What we actually care about is being asymptomatic, not necessarily about testing negative, because most of us will have some of these herpetic viruses in our system. So when we look at HHV or CMV, cytomegalovirus, again, you can test for it, but you're never going to test for it unless you have symptoms. So if you have encephalitis, meningitis, all these types of things, and kidney issues, you might test for CMV. It's probably not going to be the main thing causing the issue, but you might test for it. And again, it'll be the antibodies test, which doesn't tell you whether you've beaten the virus or whether it's still there. Beaten in the context of you've knocked it down into dormancy, not necessarily you've eradicated it from every single cell in your body, because there's no way to prove that. Okay, then we can talk about, now we're getting closer. HHV6. HHV6 operates by encoding itself inside the DNA of host cells. Very complex what it does there. Every single cell in your body could have some HHV6 DNA in it. Very intelligent virus. But again, you're not testing for the actual virus itself. If depending on what kind of flare up, some children will get rosacea, for example, from HHV6, in which case you could do a PCR swab test from that, activation site. But typically, again, you are going to be looking at a antibody test. And when you're looking at an antibody test, you're looking for the sergeants, not the actual. It's almost like going to. It's almost like saying, all right, how can we test for bank robbers? Let's go to the bank and look for security guards. And then if there's security guards there, that means there's bank robbers there. Not necessarily the case. What's more likely is if a bank has loads of security guards outside, they've been robbed before or they're expecting a robbery. It doesn't guarantee the presence of anything. It's a preventative measure. And that's what the antibodies are. They're a preventative measure. HHV7 is kind of like HHV6's little brother. It's not as elaborate. It's still kind of in its come up. HHV7 would be responsible for things like PANS, kidney disease as well in some cases. But again, without symptoms, you're not really going to be testing for it. So, Yutunde or Yutundum, if you could let me know what your actual issue is, which is why you're interested in the HHV7, then that will probably inform the answer better rather than just saying, can we test for HHV7? Because yes, you can do a PCR test if there's an active issue, then it will be present in its activation phase, so it will show up. If not, then you can do an antibody test, which we've discussed with its limitations. Um, but it depends what the issue is. It really does depend what the issue is, and that there might be a better testing mechanism, or sometimes your symptoms tell you better than any testing protocol is going to tell you. So, I hope that answers that question. Don't worry. What herbs are best for gut health? Dana. So it's question three. So when it comes to gut health, the simple answer is, well, no, it's not a simple answer. We should stop using the term gut health. We should stop using the term gut health. It's similar to saying what's a good or what's the best athletic sport, or what, or let me refine that further. Actually, it's like saying what's the best body type for athletics. So the simple answer, or the obvious answer might be, well, you want to be 6 foot, lean, athletic, and in shape, and you want to be explosive, and that's what you want. That's the perfect athletics body. But then I say, okay, well, what if you're doing shot put? Would it be the same answer? What if you're doing hammer throw? Would it be the same answer? What if you're doing a 10,000 meter run? Would it be the same answer? So, yes, gut health falls into the same category in the same way athletics does, but it doesn't mean that we can say, well, this is the best herb for all of athletics. We can't say the sea moss is the best herb for all of gut health. We can't say the milk thistle is the best herb for all of gut health. Now, there's some fundamentals that the milk thistle has, which would make it effective for most gut health issues, which is akin to saying, someone who is 6'3" in athletics, there's no event that you're going to be disadvantaged by in. That's true, right? There's no event you're disadvantaged by being 6'3", is there? No. So, well, I'll let Jade challenge me, or anyone else can challenge me. But I think the milk thistle,
Gymnastics, maybe.
athletics, I said.
Athletics. No,
Yeah.
not that.
So if you want to reduce it down to that, the milk thistle would be your 6'3" card. You're not going to be disadvantaged. It's going to help in most things. It's probably not going to make. It's not the best for anything specifically because there's other factors that play a role. But the milk thistle would be your start. If you was part of a starter pack for gut health, the milk thistle would definitely be part of it. Sea moss is similar in the sense that it contains 92 different minerals. It lubricates the digestive tract. It does add soluble fiber. So again, this is probably like having a coordination card in athletics. There's no event you're going to be disadvantaged by being coordinated. But equally, it's not the most important thing if you're talking about an 100-meter sprint. So when we get into the more specialist herbs now for the gut, you're probably looking at black seed oil. Black seed oil is great because it knocks down the viral pathogens, the E. coli, the streptococcus. the shingles, the Epstein-Barr, all of these that sit in the small intestine and the large intestine get knocked down and eliminated by the black seed oil. That's why this is a great specialist option. Is this going to fix acid reflux? Maybe not. Is this going to get rid of H. pylori, a specialist condition by itself? It's not going to do that. But it does set the ground. It is a specialist in terms of going after those underlying viral issues. Another secret specialist would be the licorice root. Now, this is one we haven't spoken much about. Not a lot of you might have seen this. I'll just show you what it is, the licorice root. For everyone wondering, does it smell or taste like licorice? No, actually. It actually smells quite sweet. It's actually quite pleasant. And I don't even like licorice. But this would be a licorice root. And the special thing about licorice root is its ability to repair your mucosal lining. Super important. When we're talking about leaky gut, when we're talking about H. pylori chewing away through your mucosal lining, when we're talking about Crohn's and celiac disease ruining your small intestine lining, the licorice root can help bring it back because it restores that mucosive membrane. Super important, especially when it comes to H. pylori. And the other thing it does, which is super important and no one really talks about, is it goes after the viruses. It's one of the best antivirals there is. It forms a glue around the mucous membrane of the virus, which stops it from being able to proliferate. So, Jade, if you could pin the licorice root, please, if we have it on TikTok shop. No doubt, it's available on the website then. But the licorice root is probably one of the best things for the gut health, which is often missed. And then when we're talking about gut health, you have to think about the vagus nerve. You know, anyone who's listened to me talk about the gut, anyone who's listened to previous live sessions, you have to talk about the vagus nerve when it comes to gut health. And the best thing for the vagus nerve would be these two options here. So these aren't gut herbs, but when it comes to stomach acid reflux, when it comes to bloating, when it comes to constipation, when it comes to nerve insensitivity, then the Brahmi, we've actually upgraded the packaging on, by the way. We've moved away from all these packaging now. Everything's in glass jars, which I'm delighted to say. So ignore these two. These are now upgraded to glass jars. I just don't have them with me. But yeah, the Brahmi is the best option for that. And then also the lion's mane. The lion's mane is a fantastic option for repairing the vagus nerve and the best option for it. Recently upgraded into glass jars as well.
People know that you have two versions of lion's mane.
We'll get into it. Yes, yeah. And then probably the final one to talk about would be Shilajit. We're talking about the gut health because what the Shilajit does is it enhances coenzyme Q10. So anyone with celiac disease, anyone with malabsorption issues, anyone who struggles to absorb nutrients, chronic anemia, B12 deficiencies, things like that, then the Shilajit is a fantastic option for your gut health. Okay, so that kind of, hopefully that answers that, Dana, in a way that makes sense. It's not about what is the best herb for gut health. There's some factors that will benefit across the board, but really it's about getting your specialist in the right place.
A couple questions on TikTok for me.
Okay.
Have you got a detox kit from that jab?
Not specifically. I mean, the research I've seen is that the spike protein. So the question was, sorry, have you got a detox kit from that jab? So you know, when it comes to spike protein, because that's what everyone kind of focuses on. So they say spike protein opens the gateway for other viruses and toxins to enter the cells. Now, there are some things that are effective. We don't sell a specific kit for it. Nattokinase, the special compound in natto, which is fermented soybeans, is proven in scientific laboratory studies to be effective in detoxing spike protein. Curcumin is also proven to be effective in detoxing spike protein. But generally, that process happens naturally, and the more antioxidants you consume, then that supports that process. So things like eating wild blueberries, things like drinking the butterfly pea flower, and you can just see how blue it is here. Looking forward to my cup later. But things like drinking the butterfly pea flower, getting your antioxidants in, these all help to detox the spike protein. Okay, what's the other TikTok question? That's 4, right?
That is 4,
Yeah.
Can you please advise what natural herbs I need to take to cleanse my liver?
Best natural herbs to cleanse the liver. Now, this is more specific. Now we're more like, what's the best thing to do for a 100-meter sprint? That makes perfect sense. When it comes to the liver, there's three. When we do have a liver cleanse kit,
Just pinned down TikTok.
which is now pinned on TikTok Shop. Thank you. Um, I'm just going to say this in caveat. Sometimes we have kits, and when I'm talking on the live, I don't necessarily remember everything that's in all the kits. We have over 15 different kits. So if I'm talking about herbs, I might miss one that's in the kit that's not in the kit. If it's in the kit, it's also going to be beneficial. Just because I'm not saying it here, it doesn't mean it's not. I also can't see what is pinned on TikTok Shop as well. So going a bit more off the cuff here. But in terms of the liver, the number one primary option would be milk thistle. It will be milk thistle. This is the only it's the only food in the world that naturally contains silymarin. Silymarin reverses damaged liver cells, reverses cirrhosis, reverses fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hepatitis. This is what the milk thistle, well, not even the milk thistle, this is what the silymarin does. And the silymarin is only in milk thistle. 2 teaspoons of this a day and keeps the liver nasties away. That's what we always say. So yeah, the milk thistle will be the best option. The where is it? The black seed oil, I made a video a couple of days ago. All of the heavy metals, all of the stress, all of the cortisol, adrenaline, DDT, pesticides, all of those nasties get concentrated in, not in the black seed oil, they get concentrated in the liver. Now, the black seed oil helps to get rid of all of those things. That's why the black seed oil is so effective, and that's why it's 100% part of the liver detox kit. I'm not even sure if the spirulina is part of the liver detox kit, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Okay, so the spirulina is fantastic for detoxing heavy metals, the mercury, the arsenic, the lead, the copper, all of these heavy metals. The spirulina is fantastic for detoxing it from the brain, from the central nervous system, and from the liver. That's why I love the spirulina. I don't think it's not in the kit, but it's a great optional add-on. Lovely blue. It's actually a bacteria. Most people think it's a seaweed. It's actually a bacteria. One of my favorite options for detoxing. A bit salty, but a bit of honey in there and absolutely no problems. Is it Shilajit that's in the Moringa and Shilajit?
Black seed oil, moringa.
What's the Shilajit moringa? So yeah, the Shilajit, we mentioned it before. It increases mitochondrial energy. So the liver and the brain use the most mitochondrial energy in your body in terms of organs. So that's why you need the Shilajit. The Shilajit helps to boost your mitochondrial energy. It helps to detox heavy metals further. Also, it helps to later stage detox pathways in the liver as well. So that's why the Shilajit is in there. A lot of people with liver issues have fatigue issues, and that's what the Shilajit helps to correct. And then finally, the moringa seeds. Now, moringa seeds are, I'm actually going to eat one now. They are brilliant when it comes to detoxing the liver. I always say this, but if you ever watch a video of moringa seeds cleansing dirty water, it will blow your mind. When you take a moringa seed and you crush it and you put it in dirty water, they actually do this in developing countries as well as a form of sanitation for the water. It literally coagulates and binds to the toxins in that water. And brings all that sediment to the bottom to turn it into drinkable water. Absolutely mind-blowing how it does it. Nature provides, that's all we can say. And the same thing happens inside your body. When you eat this moringa seed, you grind it up, you chew it, it attracts all of that sediment, all of that bacteria, all of the gunk inside the body, ready to be eliminated. So moringa is definitely part of the liver cleanse kit and the first herb we ever sold and one of my favorite herbs, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna get one more of those as well. So, I think that's all the questions. Yeah, next question, please. Question number 5.
Yeah. What's the use of the Mother Nature's kit?
Okay, good question. So the Mother Nature's gift is the first bundle that we actually ever launched on Magic Tree. So probably 5 years ago, that kit's been a survivor from them. So initially, and it's quite funny, it was just all the herbs that we sold in one kit. Now, this was before we transitioned more into a healing company. We were just a company that sold herbs. Ironically, what that kit ended up being, because the focus back then was we just want to have one herb that covers as many bases as possible, we ended up with 6 very different products. Now, over the years, we brought in more products with overlapping benefits, and so we can stack more complex solutions. But actually, when you look at that Mother Nature's gift, what's in there? It's got the lion's mane, it's got the black seed oil, it's got moringa, it's got shilajit, it's got ashwagandha, it's got black seed oil, and that's 6, yeah. So when you look at the profile of all those different herbs, you've got antiviral, you've got immunomodulating, you've got support sleep, you've got enhanced mitochondria, you've got memory boosting, you've got nerve support, you've got memory support, you've got cognitive function, you've got did I say energy already? Fatigue, combating fatigue. You've got even some anti-diabetic benefits from the ashwagandha and the black seed there as well. So it's very much our best cure-all. Oh, not even cure-all, I don't like to say that, but covers your bases in the broadest sense, because it has 6 different herbs that all serve a very different function, but overlap in an interesting way. And the funny thing is it kind of just happened naturally by happenstance in the way that we went about designing the business. So that's why that bundle still exists in and amongst everything else. Now we've obviously bolstered it out. We do also have the Ultimate Starter Kit. We do also have the Ultimate Cleanse Protocol. Those are slightly different. The Ultimate Cleanse Protocol is more designed for women. We'll probably actually change the name of that just to make it clearer. And then we also have the Ultimate Starter Kit, which is more of a updated protocol with some of our best sellers. So yeah, that breaks down that. I get it's a little bit confusing, but yeah. Okay. Next question, please. 5. That's 5, right?
6.
6. Okay. And then we get one more moringa seed while doing that.
How do you know if EBV is affecting the liver or kidney?
So EBV. I've kind of gone through it a little bit in terms of the testing. How do we know EBV is affecting the liver or kidney? Well, the first clue will be you have a liver or kidney issue. If you've got that fatty liver, if you've got early stage CKD, liver cyst, kidney cyst, that could be a fluke, kidney fluke, liver fluke. But generally, it's going to be because you've got a kidney or a viral pathogen in the liver and or kidney. You can also have bacterial stressors, so you can also have strep, you can also have E. coli, E. coli more in the liver, but strep more in the kidneys. They can also cause issues as well. I would say test, I think that's a waste of time. The way we look at EBV is by the symptoms in history. This is where the consultations become really important to be able to tie that cohesive history together. You know, if you have a liver issue today, but you had let's say you've also got diabetes, which they would say is a pancreas issue, but we know it's a liver issue. Then you might have thyroiditis or thyroid issue. They would say that's a hormonal issue. We know that's an EBV issue. Then you might have had eczema when you was a kid. They say that's a autoimmune issue or immune irregulation issue. We know that's an EBV issue. So because we understand the core, what's actually the root driver behind a lot of conditions, we can ask questions to understand, okay, this is the likely pathogen here. If it was strep, on the other hand, you probably had a history of acne. You probably had a history of chest infections. You probably had a history of strep throat. You've probably got some constipation. You probably got some gut dysbiosis. That's the difference in how those pathways line up. If you've got a more acute condition like H. pylori, you probably haven't got the full list that goes alongside it. So yes, you can use testing, and the testing will show you if you've got antibodies, but over 90% of the population do have these pathogens. So, you know, we're not telling ourselves that much by getting that testing done. Really, we want to look at the symptoms and understand what's going on. And the best way to do that would be through a consultation. So we've actually updated our consultations on the website. So we now offer 3-month for these full support programs, which we never did before, which I'm excited to announce, and we've been booked and busy with those. But they are available on the website as well. And if you do just want to do a one-off session to go through your symptoms, conditions, identify the underlying pathogens, and kind of put together a playbook of what you can do for long-term success, we can also do that as well in a one-off consultation. So both options are there for you to take advantage of. Okay. So let's move on to a couple of Facebook questions because I don't want to neglect you guys. So Sonia's been waiting for a little while. So Sonia asked, I said 40, didn't I? 40 Q&As, and we're on 34 minutes in and we're only on question 7. So we'll see how far we get. Maybe 40 was a bit ambitious. I'll also try and get through them a bit quicker as well. Okay, can you tell us more regarding parasites? So, parasites would be parasites would be depends which country you're in, to be honest. I don't like to just loosely say you haven't got parasites. I don't like to loosely say parasites are unlikely to be your issue. Because if you do live in a country where parasites are more prevalent, you know, you're living in a developing country, you're living in certain African countries, certain Asian countries, then yeah, you are going to be higher risk of developing parasites. That said, parasites are still way over accredited for a lot of the issues people are suffering with, i.e., there's lots of people that have come to us with chronic health issues, you know, diabetes, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, whatever the case may be, and they improve, they get better, and they didn't have to kill any parasites, they didn't pass any parasites, they didn't have to go on this parasite cleanse to do so. So they may have parasites, but the parasites weren't the thing causing their problems. So with parasites, if you have a real parasite, you know, a gnarly parasite, you're going to know about it. You're not going to be hanging around. You're not going to be playing around with some garlic. You probably want some, or you're probably going to need to be hospitalized because your symptoms will decline very quickly. And then you'll need to go to hospital, and then you'll probably just be given pharmaceutical antiparasitics. If you've got this chronic parasite that you've been battling with for months or years, and it's kind of just a bit annoying, it's probably not a parasite. You've probably got viral inflammation. The reason why your wormwood might help, the reason why the cloves might help, is because they're also anti-inflammatory, and they're also antibacterials, antivirals. That's why they would help, not because they are killing all these parasites inside your gut. Now, you may have intestinal worms, which can be problematic, but in most cases, they're just eating up the gunk inside your system, so they're not causing the biggest issue. Yes, you can get rid of them, and you'd be better off if you got rid of them in most cases. But it shouldn't be the focal point of your plan. The focal point should very much be around viruses and bacteria. There's lots of times, well, most consultations we have, people will say, well, when do I need to do the detox? When do I need to start on the detox? And I say, there's no 3-day detox that's going to heal you. We don't need to do a 3-day detox. We just need to start living a healthier lifestyle. And when I say a healthier lifestyle, I mean the right lifestyle for you, because two people can have two completely different healthy lifestyles depending what their underlying condition is. So that's the answer to that question. So Evelyn on Facebook asked, please, the best herb for heart issues. Hawthorn berry would be the best option when it comes to the heart, but there's lots of other great options as well. Garlic is a really good for the heart. Moringa is really good for the heart. Butterfly pea flower is really good. Ooh, it's really good for the heart as well. Ashwagandha, if your heart issues are stress driven, would be very good for the heart as well. So yeah, there's a few different, and then obviously the milk thistle, by cleansing the liver, clean the blood, would also help the heart. And moringa, yeah, I did say the moringa seeds, didn't I? So those would all be the best options to restore your heart health. I'll probably make a video on that next week as well, actually. We don't really talk about the heart as much, mainly because the heart is kind of the secondary effect of other issues. You know, if you have a liver issue and then you get dirty blood, then yes, the heart will pay the price. If you're having, blood clots or strokes, that's not a heart issue. That's a cholesterol in the veins issue, or it could be a nerve issue, or even a mineral issue, but it's not a heart issue. Generally, the heart is pretty efficient. I don't know if it's because it's moving all the time, so it's constantly staying active, but generally the heart isn't the primary issue. But we will make a video on that one next week.
Go back to Instagram, or you still got another one on Facebook?
Sorry? A comment threw me off from a Zoom on Facebook. Thank you. So, Emmanuel Escher. So, please, what about hepatitis B? Fine. What about hepatitis B? So, hepatitis B is a viral issue that is not the hepatitis virus causing the problem. It's actually paving the way. It's naturally a variant of the Epstein-Barr virus that's been relabeled as hepatitis, but the reason why you're experiencing the long-term chronic fatigue, the long-term issues, is because it triggers a probably long-standing Epstein-Barr infection. So to go after the Epstein-Barr infection, what you want to use is pretty much our antiviral herpes kit, which would be the licorice root, which I've explained as the best option for antivirals. There's oil of oregano. I didn't get my oils right. So oil of oregano is another new product we have in stock as well.
I have it there.
Nice in the drawer, but that's fine. Not sure. Just in the second drawer. So the oil of oregano is also great for topical targeted antiviral treatment. So you can rub the oil of oregano on your liver, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And then you can also use the sea moss is a great option for hepatitis as well because of its zinc and iodine content. The zinc activates the iodine, it's in the second drawer, which is a powerful antiviral, or bottom drawer actually, which is a powerful antiviral. And then we also have black seed oil, which I didn't mention, is great for going after their hepatitis as well in the liver. So yeah, 2 new arrivals as well. Thank you, Jade. So we've got the oil of oregano, which just arrived. So very potent, essential oil of oregano. And we also have that nutmeg oil, which is a great pain reliever. So yeah, this is about 17 herbs now.
It's a real family.
Yeah, crazy. Maybe even 19. Okay. So, you're talking about antibody test, you're referring to a test or another type of test. No, I'm just talking about a blood test, Sonia. Depending what type of test, it's going to be different. But yeah, generally, I'm just talking about an antibody test. Where are you? Oh, so Jennifer has asked digestion. We've covered digestion, I suppose. Fibromyalgia, arthritis, osteoarthritis. I need all kinds of help. Autoimmune, detox, liver things. Okay, so Jennifer, if you have fibromyalgia and autoimmune conditions, your osteoarthritis might actually be misdiagnosed rheumatoid arthritis, so it could be immune driven. Unless you're like an athlete or you play tennis and now you've got a shoulder or elbow injury or something like that, then it could be actually autoimmune driven. Now, in terms of that, you're going to want the same kit I just described: the licorice root, the black seed oil, the oil of oregano to rub directly on the joints. You can use the nutmeg oil for pain relief. That wasn't even the nutmeg oil. You can use the nutmeg oil for pain relief on the joints as well. And then you also can use spirulina to detox the heavy metals that are feeding the underlying autoimmune viruses. So that's what I would recommend for you. All right, we'll jump back to. Oh, go on. Yeah, sure.
What's the best herb for inflammation?
Yeah, we haven't actually spoken about this one. Where is it?
That would be 10, I think.
I don't have it in front of me.
Which herb?
The astragalus. I knew there was one missing.
Oh.
Okay. So the best herb for inflammation is a joint one. I'll talk about the black seed oil first. I've mentioned it already. Knocks down all pathogens, anti-inflammatory. That thymoquinone is special. It's a small jar. Huh?
What movie?
I don't. Wow. Crazy.
What's on the way?
Yeah. But the astragalus. And then the other one would be astragalus. So astragalus is it's.
Is it not the one behind? Stonebreaker?
No.
Next to it?
No, it's a small jar. Top shelf. I think it's in top shelf. Anyway, it's astragalus. It's a Chinese root herb. It's fantastic for modulating the immune system and reducing inflammation. So it's a new herb that we've just launched. I don't even think it's listed individually yet. If you're interested in getting it, send us a DM on the website. Jay's looking for it. We do have it, I promise you. But all right, never mind. So yeah, it's fine. Actually, the best option for that. Okay. So we said 10 questions. We're gonna do a giveaway. All right. So we'll give away a 50% discount code. And the winner will be the first person to tell me
One of the new herbs.
alongside alongside black seed oil, what is the best herb for inflammation across all platforms. Jay's going to be my eyes on TikTok. I'm keeping an eye on Instagram and Facebook. So, to win 50% off, what is the best herb for inflammation other than black seed oil? Not ashwagandha. I just said it. It does sound like ashwagandha.
So what's it? Shilajit?
Ashwagandha, Dana wins. Oh, Sonia. Oh, did Sonia win? Sonia might have been in there.
Oh, there are two different.
All right, so there is a lag on Facebook, so I'm not sure who wins. So Sonia will award you a winner on Facebook, and Dana will award you a winner on Instagram. Was there a winner on TikTok?
Where are you? I'm not seeing this on Instagram.
Oh, that's strange.
On Instagram.
Any actual galaxies on TikTok?
No.
No.
Oh, it came late.
Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. So Jade will, I mean, if you send us an email, we can send you the discount code, which you can use. That is 50% off. So congratulations. Pays to listen. So Jade will put the Instagram on,
Where are they?
sorry, huh?
Facebook.
Sonia's on Facebook. Dana's on Instagram. And yeah, Jade will put the email on both of those chats. So you can just send us an email and then we'll send you the discount code. Please do send us an email because we can't really find accounts on Instagram that easily. Perfect. And if you didn't win this round, I'm going to try and answer another 10, even though it's taken 45 minutes to answer the first 10. And we'll try and do another giveaway after the next 10 as well. All right. So let me scroll back up to get the questions whilst Jade is doing that. Where are we? All right, so let's try.
Oh, I responded to the wrong person. Sorry. Responded to
Oh.
Duncan Rye. Supposed to be Sonia. Sorry.
No worries. All right, just trying to find the questions. All right, we answered what herbs are best for gut health. We answered that. So, right, it is. What herbs are best for weight management? Another question from Dana. In terms of weight management, there are actually a few herbs with proven clinical studies to support their effectiveness against weight loss. First of which would be sea moss, because the sea moss is rich in fucoxanthin or fucoxanthin. I don't know how to say it correctly. I think I'm saying it right. But the fucoxanthin is been scientifically studied to support weight loss whilst exercising. The ashwagandha is another one as well, to support weight loss, particularly whilst exercising, because it lowers cortisol. When cortisol levels are high, you retain fat around the belly area. You retain fat in your armpits. You retain fat in the face. That is what the ashwagandha is great for and scientifically proven to support weight loss. And the other one would be black seed oil. The thymoquinone has been studied and it supports weight loss whilst exercising. Those would be the best. I mean, the shilajit as well in terms of mitochondrial energy usage. So to actually process and use those calories better, the shilajit would also be a great option. But those would be the best options for weight management. Okay. So the opposite side, what herbs are best for building muscles? And actually, ironically, they're similar because when we look at ashwagandha, for example, how does it moderate weight management? Well, it lowers cortisol. So that, yes, that is good for fat reduction, but it's also good for building muscle because what gets in the way of testosterone production? Cortisol. So that's why it works both ends. Again, the shilajit, it stimulates luteinizing hormone. So in men, it will boost testosterone. In women, it will boost estrogen or stabilize estrogen, I should say. It also helps minerals get to the right place so you can actually use the nutrients you're consuming. So that would make the shilajit the best option again. In terms of muscle building, we don't sell it, but Satu powder is my go-to protein powder. It's literally just blended chickpeas, but it's 25% protein, which is why I like to use it. Okay.
Couple of autism questions.
Okay.
What's the best herbs for developmental delay in kids, please?
The best herb for developmental delays in kids would depend on what is causing the developmental delay. So we've been doing loads and loads and loads of work in the last, probably like 3 to 6 months, particularly in the last month, as we've been working directly with parents, a cohort of parents with autistic children. And it's been great to see or useful, I should say, to see the correlation of things that create the metabolic factors that will stimulate neurological symptoms, or autism for short. So the point being, there's no two cases which are exactly the same. Usually there is household toxins that play a role. Usually there is childhood illness that plays a role. Sometimes there's a level of trauma that comes in. Um, Sometimes it's premature. So there's so many different things that can influence it. So it's kind of, are you talking about the symptoms? If it's just talking about the symptoms, then yes, Brahmi is great. Lion's mane is fantastic. Shilajit for older children or 16-year-olds plus would be a great option. Spirulina is great for detoxing the metals that contribute to symptoms. If we're talking about those deeper issues, the iron issues, the B12 issues, the high insulin issues, the immune dysregulation issues, then black seed oil becomes highly important to knock down the viral pathogens. Spirulina becomes important again in terms of detoxing that mold that might be stuck inside the body. When it comes to, it's super rich in iron as well. So if you need to supplement iron because ferritin stores are low, then the spirulina becomes an ally as well. So raspberry leaf could even be an ally in that situation if we're trying to use natural iron replacements.
Thank you. Can you suggest omega-3 DHA EPA content for autism kid and magnesium glycinate?
Um, it depends on the child, depends on the size, depends if they're responding well to it. I wouldn't make a general broad brush recommendation because it depends on the child.
What are your new products and prices so I can order?
Um, so the new products would be Astragalus, which we don't have in front of us. That would be £15. Stonebreaker. Oh, this is a raspberry. Look like Stonebreaker. Stonebreaker is right here. This is a brand new product as well. It is I thought I saw a comment. Yeah, this is a brand new product as well. It's fantastic for breaking down calcium oxalate stones in the kidneys. It also has other benefits. It's good for regulating blood sugar as well. Good anti-inflammatory. Good for overall kidney function. But primarily, if you are dealing with kidney stones, gallstones, then the Stonebreaker is a fantastic option. So this is brand new. This is £15. We also have the nutmeg oil, which I mentioned before, fantastic for pain relief. So many people are like, well, I just want to get over the pain. It's so hard to think about healing when you're still dealing with the pain. So that's what the nutmeg oil is for. Essential nutmeg oil, which is for nerve pain, joint pain, physical pain. It covers all the different types of pain as well, which is why it's really important. We spoke about the oil of oregano, another new-ish herb. I'll say new-ish, but that's also £15. And the licorice root is probably the other one that's kind of newish as well. That is also 15, and I think that covers all the new herbs. I've got in front of me at least. So yeah, they're all available. Well, they're not all available individually on the website yet. Some of them are just in bundles. So if you're interested in a herb I've mentioned and you don't see it on the website, send us an email on the website chat and I'll be able to create that for you or create a custom order for you so you can still access it.
I've lost some of the questions on Instagram. It keeps freezing for me, and the questions don't load. So, if you see an Instagram that you want to go through, I'm on. My first one is the lion's mane blood pressure one.
All right. So, Dana, what are the best herbs to combat cancer? This is a tricky one because it depends on the type of cancer, it depends where the cancer is, and it depends how progressed the cancer is. And it's always a personal decision whether you want to go down the natural route, the chemo route. Both work. So I'm not going to say never do chemo because lots of people have had their life saved from using chemo. Yes, it can cause other issues further down the line, but that's, I guess, a secondary issue if you're staring terminal cancer in the face. So, there are definitely some general anti-cancer herbs which are beneficial. They would be turmeric or the curcumin in turmeric. They would be mesema mushrooms would be really good. Soursop is also helpful. Moringa has anti-cancer properties. Thymoquinone in black seed oil has anti-cancer properties as well. Ashwagandha has huh?
Careful with that word and take it.
Oh, ashwagandha can help as well. So yeah, I mean that's just a scientific study. I'm not saying it cures anything. I'm just saying it has anyway. Yeah, so that answers that question. It's always a bit tricky to answer that one on social media, um, but yeah.
What can I take to cleanse, to for a cleanse to clear heavy metals from my body?
Yeah, so we do actually have a heavy metal cleanse kit on the website. That contains sea moss, moringa, shilajit, and spirulina. The reason why it contains those is because that's a comprehensive way to detox heavy metals from your brain, lungs, liver, nervous system, and blood, which is where you need and want to be detoxing the heavy metals from. A lot of people think, well, I can detox for a week, I can detox for 2 weeks, and then everything's gone. Well, you can get heavy metals from, eating with a fork. You can get heavy metals from walking through a petrol station. You get heavy metals every time you go on the London Underground. So it's not a case of, well, I can just detox once and that's me covered. It needs to be a constant, everyday almost thing that you are doing, which is why we have the heavy metal cleanse kit. It's comprehensive support that keeps you covered. How many questions is that in this round? Is that six?
That's, yeah, 6 and 7. What's good for the lungs?
So the lungs, good question. Opportunity to talk about mullein leaf. We haven't spoken about the mullein leaf yet. This is fantastic for the lungs. It's an expectorant. It gets rid of the excess mucus from the lungs, which is really important. If you've got a chesty cough, if you've got pneumonia, if you've got any sort of congestive COPD, fibrosis, the mullein leaf helps. It's also got mild antiviral properties as well, antibacterial properties, but mainly it's an expectorant to bring that mucus up from the chest. If you've got smoker's cough, if you've got impaired CO2 max volume because of smoking or things like that, then the mullein is your best friend. You can also benefit from the sea moss as well. Um, Elasticates your alveoli, reduces inflammation in your airways, revives your cilia. This is fantastic when it comes to your respiratory tract. And also, the butterfly pea flower has great antioxidant benefits and also helps to detox metals from the lungs as well. We do have a respiratory rescue kit on the website, which you can access. Yeah, that's available for you to go get. I think it might also be on TikTok in the shop. It's not in the shop, so go to the website and you can get the respiratory rescue kit there. Okay.
Can you add
That's
wild
7.
blueberries to your store, please?
Honestly, we're gonna have to. We get this question all the time, and I talk about wild blueberries way too much for us not to have it. The thing with wild blueberries is they are really rare. So wild blueberries, you've got bilberries, you've got normal blueberries, you've got Nordic blueberries. So all of these have got different names. Functionally, they're the same thing, but there's not that many places that sell it, and it's actually really expensive. So I want to try and find a supplier that we're actually going to get the real Nordic blueberries from that are freeze dried or spray dried and actually not processed in a way that you can actually use them and don't cost the earth is the other part of it as well. So that's what we're trying to bring in. It's probably next up on the pipeline, so we'll definitely be looking to do that. It's just a matter of timing, really. But yeah, we're looking to do that. That and Gurmah leaf are probably the next two. Okay, do we have CMOS gel? Yes, we definitely do. Here is the CMOS gel. It's full spectrum. It's actually in glass jars now, so it actually looks a lot better than this. So yes, that is also available on TikTok Shop and on the website.
Can you take lion's mane if you have high blood pressure?
You sure can. Lion's mane does not raise blood pressure. I think it might actually even have mild blood pressure regulating properties. Brahmi definitely does. So yeah, no problem taking lion's mane on high blood pressure. The only one you'd really want to avoid on high blood pressure would be licorice root.
Do you have anything you recommend for neck and shoulder tension or muscle spasms?
First and foremost, it would be the nutmeg oil that will relax the muscles and stop that spasm, or may help relax the nut muscles and may help stop the spasming. So yes, nutmeg oil would be very high up on the recommendation list for that one. But really, it's, if you have an electrolyte issue, which is triggering the spasming, then Shilajit and spirulina would actually be your best options as well. So I'd probably even look into a consultation to really get to the bones of why that is happening. That's probably not. Pardon? Oh, yeah, so that's probably not the only symptom that you're experiencing. So it'd be better to tie that symptom in together with other symptoms for it to fully make sense. So yeah, that would be the answer to that question.
Would that also apply to joint pain? Someone said they have joint pain in their hips, toes, and thumb.
So if you have joint pain in all those areas, it depends what's causing the joint pain. Is it rheumatoid arthritis? Is it osteoarthritis? Is it psoriatic arthritis? All of these are different, have different causes. Rheumatoid and psoriatic have the same underlying root cause, so that'd be the same anti-EBV, anti-heavy metal protocol. If it's osteoarthritis, that's just more wear and tear damage. So we're looking to add some collagen back into that joint and protect the joint. So we're actually going to be launching a sciatica kit, osteoarthritis kit, and rheumatoid arthritis kit. Aim is to actually do that today, straight after this live session. So you might not have to. Hopefully, you won't have to wait too long for that one. But yeah. Okay, I think it is one more question until the next giveaway. My daughter, she's 15, is feeling nausea, cramps, and extreme tiredness. What can I recommend? So, nausea, is that just around her cycle, or is that generally throughout the month? Because that makes a massive difference as to how we're going to go about fixing that. They could all be distinct issues. You know, there could be nausea from vagus nerve inflammation and too much stomach acid is going into the stomach. It could be stomach cramps from endometriosis or electrolyte issues. And then the extreme fatigue could be a completely separate viral issue. Or it could all be the same thing. It could all just be Epstein-Barr causing the endometriosis, causing the extreme tiredness, and also causing vagus nerve inflammation, which is causing the stomach nausea. So first point of call would be black seed oil. To help with the nausea, I'd probably say sea moss or milk thistle would be the best options. And then to help with the cramping, raspberry leaf would be the best option. So, you know, without kind of doing the full deep dive and going through the consultation, those would be the three or four, I don't remember how many I said now. I think the three herbs I'd recommend most to help with that. Okay, are we up to no? So, Colom, my son won't eat anything apart from spaghetti every day. What do you suggest I can give him to improve his eating? First question would be, is he autistic or is he displaying autistic symptoms to warrant that restrictive eating? If he is only eating spaghetti, it's probably because he's craving glucose or sugar. So he may have an underlying yeast issue. There is likely a gut dysbiosis issue. I would go out on a limb and say it's very likely that he was sick as a child and given quite a lot of antibiotics at an early age, probably between the ages of 6 months and 2 years old. Probably recurrent chest or ear infections or something like that. Or he grew up in a house with mold in it, would be my guess. Tell me if I'm wrong, please do. But that would be my guess as to why he's eating that spaghetti. And if you could confirm that, then I'll be able to answer that in more detail. So, Kalami, keep an eye out for Kalami Isha coming back, Jade, on Instagram.
It's like frozen for me.
Oh, okay, I'll keep an eye out, don't worry.
Sorry.
Can my 9-year-old niece take spirulina? Yes, she can. We've actually included spirulina in our juvenile ADHD and autism kit. So that's literally from as young as 2 years old, taking spirulina and seeing the benefits of spirulina. So yes, your 9-year-old can. I would just say if it's a 9-year-old, half a teaspoon every other day is what I would start off with, and just monitor for detox symptoms, monitor for things like hyperactivity, struggling to go to sleep, skin rashes, things like that when it comes to spirulina in children. Okay. So yeah, Kalami Escher, he displays autistic symptoms. And did he have any of the other things I said in terms of antibiotic use or recurrent chest infections, ear infections, or grow up in a house with mold in it? So, what's your recommendation for an autistic child who's constantly stimming? That's a question from Grandstyle. So, as I said, we've been a lot of work in the autism space, and the stimming is the tip of the iceberg in terms of there's nothing to be garnered from understanding he was sick. Sorry, he stims. It's more about what is the metabolic conditions that is leading to the stimming. So that's where I would say a consultation is the best option in the sense that we can actually break down, did he grow up in a house with mold? Did he have these infections? Did he have the growth spurt at the wrong time? What was his restrictive eating pattern? And that actually helps the what the issue is because 10 children could all stim and they could all have completely different underlying issues. Completely different underlying issues. And yes, I could say take some lion's mane, take some brahmi to help with the stimming, but actually that's covering over the cracks. It's not going after the underlying issue, which is why I would say go with the consultation package would be the best option. And that way we can interpret the test results as well. I can tell you what test results to get, interpret those test results, and then we actually are not going in blind and just following. Autism is one of the rare cases where we can't just trust the symptoms. The symptoms are still clues and they come together with the testing, but we can't look at the testing in isolation. So
they confirm first 3 months of their baby's life, moles in the house.
yeah, so Kalami Isha or Esha. So yeah, mold in the house for the first 3 months, but antibiotics. He had his first antibiotics this year, which is year three. I thought it was nine. No, that was a 9-year-old taking spirulina. So okay, he's nine. Yeah, okay. So look, as I said, the mold, what it does is it weakens the immune system. Then, when the immune system is weakened, other viruses can take hold, or the mold can damage the brain itself. When the brain is damaged, you don't the restrictive eating happens because the child wants to protect themselves as a defense mechanism. The brain says, all right, only eat the things you're familiar with, which in this case might be spaghetti. At the same time, that neurological damage feedbacks to the gut and creates well, there's a few different ways the pathway can go, but once that restrictive eating pattern is there, the gut doesn't produce enough, or doesn't get a varied enough range of nutrients and antibiotics, and bacteria to actually be able to break down certain nutrients. And now you actually get a gut dysbiosis issue where if you eat anything other than the spaghetti, you actually find it hard to break down. So the best thing to do is to slowly introduce other foods, very slowly, build that familiarity, and then try and widen the scope from there. There's probably there's still mold inside the system most likely, and there's probably a gut dysbiosis issue. So sea moss would be a great option to help with probiotics. Coconut yogurt, trying to introduce that would be a great option to get the bifidobacterium and the lactobacillus in there as well. And then spirulina is a great option to help alongside the sea moss detox the mold. You probably want to be using an iron supplement because I'm imagining his ferritin levels will be quite low because of that mold infection, and the iron the liver will lock away iron essentially, so the mold can't get to it. So yeah, it would be Brahmi. So I would recommend the Brahmi, the lion's mane, the sea moss, and the spirulina to comprehensively go after that. Of course, you are also welcome to book a consultation and we can go through the full detail where I can recommend more specific testing to follow up with and support with a longer term plan. Okay, I think that is 10. So it's been an hour and 8 minutes. We're actually up to date with all the. There was a question about seizures actually as well.
Yeah, can
So
mold be an underlying cause?
So lots of things can cause seizures. It can be electrolyte imbalances. So when sodium is too low, that can cause seizures. If calcium is too high, that can be a trigger for seizures. If you've got heavy metals in the brain, that can be a trigger for seizures. If you've got licorice, if you've got not licorice, if you've got heavy metals in the brain, viral neurotoxins running across the brain as well, excess cortisol, excess stress. all of these can either individually or all contribute to seizures. So it's very hard to just say, well, that's one thing that causes seizures, but to comprehensively go after that, I would say ashwagandha to reduce the stress. I would say spirulina to detox the heavy metals. I would say shilajit to protect your tau proteins and prevent the buildup of tau proteins, and to also stimulate mitochondrial energy inside the brain as well. And then lion's mane to support the nerves. That's what the best seizure option would be.
Did you round up and say what the best herbs would be for the autistic child?
Yeah.
And so we have a kit online.
I think I did. So, giveaway. Yes, there's another 10 questions. We've got through 20 today. I'm quite happy with that, actually. I know I said 40, but I spent way too long answering the questions. But I think it's more important to give you guys better answers than to just rush through anyway. So there's still a few more questions on Facebook to clean up. So we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll do that, and then we can wrap it up there for today's Q&A session. So to win the next prize, which will be we'll make this one a 60% discount. Congratulations for sticking with us for this long, an hour and 8 minutes. So hopefully it's someone who's been here for a little while. But yeah, we'll do a 60% discount. And the question is, the person who can, don't write an essay, but the person who can summarize the benefits of licorice root, because it's quite an interesting one. The person who can summarize the benefits of licorice root most effectively, judged by myself, will win the 60% off code. So who can explain the benefits of licorice root comprehensively, so not just one line, tell me what can it do in different situations, and you will win the 60% off code. Who has been listening? Who has been listening? What is the power of this stick? What can someone do with this stick? What does this do inside the body? That's the question to win 60% off. Open across all platforms. Okay, so whilst people are answering that, I'll go back to the Q&A.
Just a quick shout out. Your videos are very educational. Love watching them.
Oh, thank you. You said that.
Soraya.
Thank you, Soraya.
Syra.
Soraya.
Syra.
Syra. Yeah, Syra. Thank you, Syra. Okay. So yeah, competition is now live. Licorice root. Who can give me the best summary of the benefits of licorice root? You can't actually. Can you copy and paste in a comment? You shouldn't be able to. Well, if you can, and I'll be able to tell. So yeah, who can give me a nice comprehensive breakdown of the benefits of licorice root? I'll help for your digestion and for viruses and anything else it might help with as well. So who can do that? I've mentioned them all today already. And who's been listening, you will win 60% off. Okay, whilst people are writing that, I will answer Oko Nakai's question. Actually, let me go in order. So Susie Ibrahim's question: Can herbs cure gut microbiome and IBD and other autoimmune diseases? All right, so we need to get away from the word cure, because cure lives in the binary. There's no such thing really as binary when it comes to health. Nothing is binary. It's not that you have something or you don't have something generally. It's more so how much of something do you have. So we very much operate in the spectrum rather than in absolutes and binaries. So can you be cured? No, not by definition, because there's no way to test that you've been cured, because all we're ever testing for is antibodies. So is it possible to knock down and reduce your autoimmune symptoms? 100%. Is it possible to go into IBD remission? 100%. Is it possible to support the gut microbiome via herbs? Yes, 100%. So the language becomes quite important there, and managing your expectations becomes quite important. But the black seed oil, the astragalus, the licorice root, these are all great options in terms of managing everything you've just described.
We have an answer. It relieves ulcers, GERD, sore throats, and cough. Topically, it's good for eczema.
Okay, sounds like it's from Google, But no, okay, we'll give you that one. Is that on TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay, who won that one?
Syra.
Syra. Congratulations, Syra. You have been listening, so thank you.
She said, ha ha ha.
Even with some bonus points that I haven't even mentioned. So yes, there's a herbalist among us. Congratulations, Syra. You win the 60% off.
Sending it now.
Instagram, I have to say I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. No good answers on Instagram. You need to be listening, guys. We need to understand what these herbs do. You can tune in, you can listen, but if you're not taking it away, it's not much value. I'm here to help you, but you need to take it away. All right. So, Syra, congratulations. Jade is going, if she hasn't already, is going to put the email to our email for you to email just to say you won. You don't have to write an essay. You can just say you won, 60% off, and we'll send you that 60% off code just so we have your contact. Okay. So, I think final question maybe.
Also, well done to Missy for also putting in an answer too.
Oh, thank you, Missy. Previous winner, Missy, I think, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, Oko Nakai. Question is, what can be used for UTI? So, for UTIs, as I say, we will be launching a kit.
You have one up on our website already, don't you?
No, not for UTIs. No, we will be launching a kit. The best things for UTIs, and I suppose it's specifically biofilm resistant UTIs. So if you don't know what a biofilm is, it's essentially a mucus wall that bacteria can get stuck behind, and it means antibiotics can't penetrate it. So you end up with recurrent UTI cycles because as soon as the bacteria leaks out from the biofilm, you get a reinfection. So what we do is try to break up the biofilm, make it more vulnerable, and then use antivirals to go after the underlying E. coli or Streptococcus. So what we do in that case is propolis or propolis is from bee pollen, yeah, is fantastic for breaking up the biofilm. We can also use CMOS is great for disrupting the biofilm as well. Black seed oil is a great antiviral once you have disrupted the biofilm. Licorice root is great for shaking up the biofilm, shaking out the rubbish, and then repairing it as well. So as I say, that kit will be coming probably next week, realistically, to help with that. So, well, best herbs for blood pressure and cholesterol. We do actually have a blood kit on the website, and that does cover high cholesterol. It does cover high blood pressure, also covers anemia as well. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be ashwagandha, it's going to be black seed oil, it's going to be moringa and milk thistle. But go to the website and you can check out our blood kits, which are there to support for those issues. Okay. Any questions on TikTok?
Oh, my phone is so much later than yours. The spaghetti ones only just come through. What can help a child with dyslexia?
Dyslexia, it depends what causes it. Again, it kind of falls into that autism bucket. Is it an underlying metabolic factor? Is it something genetic? Generally, from the cognitive enhancement side of things, I'd say lion's mane would be the best option for that.
Any alternatives for iodine and CMOS?
Alternatives for I guess I don't understand the
I've had
question.
reactions to them.
So alternative for CMOS.
Yeah.
So you want the iodine, you just don't want CMOS?
Just says, what's the alternative for iodine and CMOS? And I've had reactions to them and dulse.
Oh, iodine and CMOS. Okay, fine. So if you can't take the iodine, you want to avoid sea vegetables because that's where the iodine is. If you can't take the dulse, that's higher in iodine again. So red seaweeds tend to be higher in iodine. So there are other seaweeds you can try that aren't high in iodine. So spirulina isn't technically a seaweed; it's a freshwater algae. I'm assuming you're asking about the thyroid. Did you say thyroid?
No.
No. So I'm assuming you're asking about the thyroid, which is why you'd want the iodine, or maybe a gut issue if you want the antiviral benefits. But spirulina is an option. I would say black seed oil would be your best option, really, to support anything that the iodine and CMOS is replacing, really. And then if you want the minerals back from it, then moringa seeds would be the best option. Yeah, so moringa can be beneficial as well, not in every single case of thyroid issues, but it is anti-EBV and does nourish with nutrients. The shilajit is similar, but black seed oil would be your best option. Yeah.
It's really cool when you can link things or you have an idea of if someone's asking about a herb, what the issue may be. It's quite cool. Yeah, Instagram isn't loading quick for me. So
I think I'm up to date on Instagram, so that's fine. All right, guys. I'm going to. So there was a question about congestive heart failure as well. Usually that's going to be a blood artery issue. So it depends what stage you're at, but you want to be lowering your cholesterol. You want to be lowering your blood pressure. Ashwagandha, black seed oil, milk thistle, moringa. These are all good herbs to use. Stay away from licorice root. Butterfly pea flower is your standard tea to drink, can be beneficial as well. Spirulina would also be beneficial. So you probably want a bigger protocol there, but that can all be beneficial. All right, guys, that's been an hour and 20 minutes of straight Q&A. I said 40. I think we got to about 25, so I'll take that. I will take that. Angela, if you want to email, then you can email info@magictreesuperfoods.co.uk. Yeah, guys, just to wrap up then. So, yeah, we've gotten through a lot today. We've gotten through a lot of questions. It's a long overdue session. I haven't really had the time to necessarily do the Q&As at the end of the sessions like I would like to. So it's good to be able to do this session today.
once a month.
Yeah, I'll probably try and get these. Do you mind just put in the website on Facebook, please?
Yeah.
We're probably going to try and do these a bit more regularly to have these touch points. To be honest, they are. I don't like for things to be a sales pitch, which is why I don't really do it. I prefer to talk about the issues, and as the herbs come across naturally in that, so be it, rather than answering your direct questions with the herbs. But you guys asked for it, so I deliver it. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of new herbs. I haven't even got them all in front of me. It's actually quite crazy because we've been traveling for the last. Well, we were traveling for the last 4 months, and I think we onboarded 3 or 4 new herbs even whilst traveling. So yeah, to see everything in front of me now is a real testament to how far we've come, and the full range. Because there's literally 4, 5, 6. Was it 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and we haven't even got the ashwagandhas.
Yeah.
So 18 herbs now, which is crazy because, as I say, this time last year we probably had 6. And the time it would take to onboard a new herb would be about 3 months. So I'm really proud of the team to be able to actually get to this point now where we've onboarded 18 herbs and done so quickly.
I'll just say special shout out to you because even whilst travelling, you guys wouldn't have seen this, but he was working very, very hard behind the scenes, especially to get guides written, to get all these things set up. Definitely jet lag, time zones were a thing, and he was still having consultations and still getting all these herbs out. So just a quick round of applause to you, Lee.
Thank you. No, the plane rides were great for that. Nice, non-distracted time. But yeah, so lots of new herbs. If you are interested in the astragalus, the licorice root, the oil of oregano, the nutmeg oil, the stone breaker, and the spirulina, I guess. Those are the new herbs that are on the website. So do send us a message if you can't see them. And yeah, we'll be back on it's a Tuesday today, either Thursday or Friday. We'll put a story out on Thursday letting you know we'll be back on Thursday or Friday. We'll probably go back to our normal structure in terms of talking about a topic, giveaways, 3 biggest mistakes, ranking the foods, all of that good stuff. If you've got any preferences on what you want to see, send us a DM, let us know. But yeah, I think that, as I said, I really think it's Friday. I was going to say that's it for this week.
We'll see you again.
Yes, that's it for today. Yeah, keep an eye out for the new kits. If you want early access to some of the kits as well, please do join the Natural Healers group on Instagram, because that's where we put all of our early launches, early discount codes, extra discount codes and things like that. So do join that. And yeah, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. We'll speak on Thursday or Friday. Hope that was insightful. Hope that was useful. Hope you got your questions answered. And until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.